Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya So next Sunday, we'll have a wonderful festival. What is it? We'll be reciting the complete Bhagavad Gita. Haribo! So usually it takes 3 to 4 hours. So we'll start our Gita recitation at 10 o'clock. So I would request all of you to be be on time. So we'll start from chapter 1, sloka 1, and then we'll go to the end of the 18th chapter. So usually hardly we read Bhagavad Gita, or maybe once a while, or maybe we read one sloka, or maybe we have read one chapter. And there are so many glories of reading Bhagavad Gita. And there are some devotees, maybe we'll have their association next Sunday, who have remembered all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. So yes, the sound vibration itself, it is so impactful. Because the sound vibrations are that really goes deep within our heart. It's mentioned that Yasyam Vaisruyamanayam Krishna Paramapuruse Bhakti Utpadyate Pumsam Soko Moho Bhayapa. So whenever Yasyam Vaisruyamanayam, when we hear the sound vibration that really glorifies the Lord or his devotees or the words that is coming out of his lotus mouth. Then once we hear them, what happens? Bhakti upyadate pumsa. Bhakti gets sprouted within our heart. And another side effect is there. And then not only you get bhakti, but also you lose something. Always get scared if you want to lose something. You want to gain more and more and more, always. But once we hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we'll also lose not one thing, we'll lose three things. We had discussed earlier this verse. What are the things we lose? Soka, moha, bhaya. Everybody is fearful. Everybody is, lamenting. Oh, I lost that. Oh, I had done this one. Everybody is having lamentation. Everybody is having so much of anxiety. Everybody is having bhaya. So that's why in our initial session we told that everybody is working in HAL. What is HAL? Not HAL. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. But I said that everybody is everybody is having this hankering, anxiety and lamentation. Soka, moha, bhaya. Is there anybody who is free from this HAL? No. So, but then, once we hear this transcendental sound vibration, will not have to work in HAL, this hankering, anxiety, lamentation, but we will go back to Vaikuntha. Hari Bo. So Kuntha means anxiety. This material world is full of anxiety. Every moment we are thinking of what will happen to us at the next moment. What will happen in my job? What our kids will be doing? What will happen to our health? What will be our future? Always so much of anxiety. But then once you go to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, there is no anxiety. That's why it's called Vaikuntha. Especially in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is so beautiful description of Vaikuntha. At some point of time we discuss how everybody is really appreciating each other in Vaikuntha. Everybody is encouraging each other in Vaikuntha. And there is a mood of seva bhava. Everybody is serving the Lord. We call it Kainkarya, Kimkara. We always want to serve. Always, every devotee is asking other devotees, how can I serve you? How can I serve the Lord? That is the only question they ask. How can I serve? But here, what is the question we ask? What's in it for me, buddy? Isn't it? They say, right? What's in it for me? How can I enjoy buddy? If I cannot enjoy, I don't want to be there. That's the kind of the difference. That's why you say that the satsangs are the currency converter bureaus, the foreign exchange, right? If you go from let's say India to let's say US or Europe, right? Our rupees, they don't work there. What if you go to US, you have to convert your money from rupees to dollar, or you go to US, Europe, you have to use euros, right, or pounds, whatever it is. So similarly, in the spiritual world, this bhoga bruti that we have, the enjoying mentality, won't work there. Because there, everybody understands, there is only one supreme enjoyer. Bhaktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwara Suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam santi ruchiti. Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita 5.29 that I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I am the controller. Right? There is only one Purusa, there is a Param Purusa, Lord Krishna. And then, of course, he enjoys not only with himself, he enjoys his devotees. He wants to give also to his devotees. But here, all of us, we always think that, how can I really enjoy myself? Right? Sometimes, Srila Prabhupada says that we have selfishness and extended selfishness. Right? Yes. We think of ourselves, and then we think of our family, we think of our society, we think of our city, or maybe Nama Karnataka, or then India, and our Earth planet, or maybe our species, human species, Right? Like, we extend our selfishness, but it has to be linked to me only. Wherever I appear, that is the greatest place, that is the best place. But then, once you come and the association of this beautiful scriptures, then you understand that how everything, everyone is really part and parcel of the Lord. Everybody, is really having this power. Everybody is really Satchidananda. Everybody can really connect to the Lord. Everything is a property of the Lord. And then we don't differentiate. Last session we talked about Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Suni Chaiva Sapakecha, Pandita Samadarshana. The Pandita, true learned person, he says everybody is a part and parcel of the Lord. Right? And then in that session also we talked about there are three purposes of all the Vedic scriptures. Anybody remembers? Essence of our scriptures. We defined it in the three terms. Anybody remembers? We said that Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So we call it SAP, SAP. So some of you might be working in SAP. SAP AG. It's a German company. All the execution system of most of the organizations. But the essence of all this scripture is also SAP. What is that SAP? Sambandha, Avideya and Provision. What is Sambandha? Relationship. Relationship is to understand who am I and who is the Lord, and what is the relationship between the soul and the super soul or the Supreme Lord. And then once we understand the relationship, I have to re-establish that relationship. Somehow I have turned my face away from the Lord. I have turned away from the Lord. And now I have to turn my face towards the Lord. And how should I do it? One of our friend I was in Europe long back, around 20 years back. I met one of our devotee, that time is not so much, and then he was saying that, that how the people of India are so fortunate. They are so close to the Lord. They are so near to the Lord, because wherever you go in India, you will find a temple. Everybody's name is connected to the Lord's name. Right? And there is so much the spirit atmosphere is so spiritual. Right? But then, especially in the West, everybody is really focusing on the skin, on the body. How can I really enjoy with taking so many nonsense things, enjoying in so many obnoxious ways. It's very horrible. Right? Everywhere you go, you step out of your house, you see that there is, only thing is that how can I really, just enjoy. Right? And then he was saying that yes, we are very, very far from the Lord. We are very, very far from the Bhagavan. Right? But the only thing is that especially some people who, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, this movement, and they have taken this to this process of Krishna consciousness, knowing God, understanding God. So now they are going towards God, though they are very far. But the people of India, though they are very close, they are very near, but they have turned their face away from the Lord. So that's why it is very easy for the people of India, once again to turn their face towards the Lord and practice Krishna consciousness, to practice bhakti. Because we are so fortunate to have acharyas like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Tukaram, all the Goswamis, right, who have shown with their life, with their teachings, how to practice bhakti. How we can really release the bliss of life by practicing bhakti. Why, we hear all these Goswamis, they had so much of opulence, right? They had so much of opulence. But they left everything. Right? They were searching for something beyond the so-called richness of this world. But then once there's a nice prayer of Dhruva. All of you know Dhruva Maharaj, like what he was really praying to the Lord. Oh Lord, I want to have the property, even much more than my great-grandfather, what Brahma is. Somehow or other, my father, Uttanapad, could not give me right place, right? And my stepmother, didn't speak so well, and then he did tapasya. But then, with his so strong determination, that's why it's called Dhruva. He prayed so austere, right? And then once Lord appeared to him, he asked, "Oh Lord, all this richness of the world, they are like the glass pieces, broken glass pieces, and you are really like true diamond, right? And I was so foolish that I was really looking for the broken pieces of glass, and now I have in front of you. I don't need anything else. I just need to take center of you." That's what that was not the story of some millennium years back, and even acharyas, we hear, they have lived through the life. They have really shown that, how this pleasure of this material world, they are so cheap, they are so shallow. But the pleasure that we get in front of the Lord, along with the devotees, it cannot be compared to anything else. That is the really, pleasure, and that should be our purpose of life. Right? And today, we are discussing on this topic, which is really about how we can subordinate our material pleasure to get this spiritual pleasure. How we can subordinate our material pleasure to get the spiritual pleasure. Okay. So, because we are talking today about this fasting. Ekadashi was fasting. But for your information, our ISKCON movement is a feasting movement. Okay, it's not a fasting movement. Okay, so the Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, he has given the purpose of ISKCON very clearly, without any ambiguity. What is that? What is that? Okay, let me read it for you. Please, be attentive. What Srila Prabhupada is saying in one of the purport, what he has given. Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are very pleasing because the basic principles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movements are chanting, dancing and eating Krishna Prasad. He made his headquarters in Jagannath Puri and would dance, chant and then immediately call for prasadam to be distributed to the devotees. They were so pleased that every day hundreds of men would come to chant and dance with Lord Chaitanya. The temple proprietor, the king of Orissa, Maharaj Prataprudra, had an open order to the workers in the temple to supply as much prasad to the Lord Chaitanya's devotees as they wanted. Therefore, his pastimes are very pleasing. Chant, dance and take prasad. If one is captivated by the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, simply by chanting, dancing and eating prasad, the dirty things in his heart will become cleansed. The heart of anyone who takes to this movement of chanting, dancing and eating Krishna Prasad will surely be cleansed of all dirty material contamination. So now we are clear what is the basic principles of this Krishna conscious movement. What is it? You see, in one purport, how many times Srila Prabhupada emphasized it? Right? If you say once, you may ignore it. But now, throughout our life, we will not forget this one. What is the purpose of this Krishna conscious movement? Are you clear? Okay. So, now let's proceed. Right? So, yes, we'll talk about how this fasting is also a feasting. That is the kind of a discussion for today. So, first of all, what is Ekadashi? Anybody knows? What is Ekadashi?
In Shukla Paksha, 11th day.
11th day. Ekadasa. Right? It's 1 and Dasa is a number, right? So Ekadasa. Right? And as Prabhuji said, in the waxing moon and the waning moon, like of course we have like 2 fortnights, right? And lunar calendar. Right? This is a lunar calendar and solar calendar. So once the moon revolves around the sun, right, every day, right, it goes 12 degrees. It goes 12 degrees, as it revolves around the earth, this moon. Right? So like we have the famous festival like Akshar Tritiya, Ganesh Chaturthi or Vasant Panchami or Sitala Sashti, right? We have Durga Ashtami or Ram Navami or Vijayadashami. Similarly, we have Ekadashi. So like each of the Tithis, there are some special days are there. So in a month, how many Ekadashis are there? 2 Ekadashi. And in a year? Yeah, simple math. Right? Yes, 24. Right? Of course, some people, they think that Ekadashi means, especially if you ask Maharashtra, there is one Ekadashi. What is that? Ashadi Ekadashi. Right? Or if you ask in South India, what is that Ekadashi? They will talk about one Ekadashi, Vaikuntha Ekadashi. But it is just to emphasize that there is no one Ekadashi. There are 24 Ekadashis in a year. Right? And of course, each of the Ekadashis, they are special. They have some significance to it. Okay, but then there is an internal meaning of this word called Ekadashi. What is the internal meaning? Called Ekadashi Upavas. Upavas. Vas means to stay. Upa means to stay closer. So Upavas means it's not that it's just a fasting day. The real meaning of Upavas is to stay closer to the Lord. Upavas. Upa means near, Vas means staying. Staying near the Lord. How we can keep our body, mind and senses closer to the Lord. And how? Ekadashi. Ekadashi means 11 senses. Our 5 Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Right? Everything, like all our senses, all the Panchendriyas and all the eyes, ears, nose, right? Everything we really engage in the service of the Lord. And also one mind. Right? This is the 11 senses, how we can really engage them in the service of the Lord. This is the principle of Ekadashi Upavas. Is it clear? The essential principle is that how we engage our body, mind and soul or all the 11 senses in the service of the Lord. It's not that Ekadashi Upavas means just a fasting. The Ekadashi Upavas means to stay near the Lord and engaging all our senses for Him. And now comes why we should observe Ekadashi. Okay? There are so many reasons, but we will just speak on few of them. So we always see that the audience is really scientific. We thought that we'll quote also some scientific reasons why we should observe Ekadashi. So some of the terms might be a little heavy, or maybe some of the terms we might use it as a reference to our biology and physics and geography concepts. Okay, let's see. Okay, so how many pairs of chromosomes we have? 23 pairs, or 46 chromosomes. And what is the purpose of the chromosomes?
DNA.
These are like DNA strands. They really carry like the properties of the body, the genetic properties of the body. And all these really are nothing but like this advanced complex proteins like the building blocks called adenine or cytosine or thymine or like ATCG, guanine and something like that, right? So these are the different protein blocks, right? And whatever we are discussing, as mentioned here, this is done like not we are taking from some mythology, right? This is really science, like for which there are 3 scientists called Elizabeth and Carol and so on. They really won that Nobel Prize for it. So earlier, once you really talk about this, right, chromosome, right, this DNAs, right, they understood that there is some portion at the end of this strand that used to be called as junk DNA, right? They were thinking that like somehow we don't see any purpose why it is there, and using that, some of the people they were saying that you see how Lord has created an imperfect structure in the cell, and it's of no use, so Lord must be also imperfect. But later on, as we see here, the scientists realize that there is also a purpose, right, of this junk DNA. This junk DNA is nothing but like, you see the shoelace. The shoelace at the end we have a plastic, right, kind of covering, right? It's exactly like that, right? So this junk DNA, what they call the telomeres, how it is used, what is the function they understood, that as the body grows, what happens? Cell division happens. And once the cell division happens, this portion, this telomere, once cell division gets faster, this gets lost. And then they become fused. And then sometimes the rapid growth happens and it really leads to cancer, advanced aging, and so many other problems. And then they realize that, okay, now we understood that there is some specific purpose of these telomeres. Is there some way that we can reduce the shortening of these telomeres? We can reduce so that it remains as it is as it goes through the cell division. Right? Then for the two ways, one is that we can reduce the cell division over a period of time so that you can live longer. Right? The fast of cell division, you can make it shorter. Another reason they think that, okay, that's possible through some bodily exercises, keeping a lifestyle of goodness. And then another way they thought that, okay, if somehow or other we can keep this telomere as it is, right, and not really get into the shortening mechanism. And they also found that, right, like as you say here, as it really grows and divides and the telomere gets removed, how we can do that? They said that there are some properties, right? What we can do? Of course, they didn't talk about like whatever we were discussing last time as the mode of goodness lifestyle, the sattvic lifestyle, but the essence is the same. How we can really take a vegetarian diet, how we can really stay away from the obscene drinking and meat eating and so on, and then how you can really fast yourself for some time, so that the cell division gets take longer time and it slow down and it remains as it is. So they did some experiments. They found that, okay, the calorie intake, if you take less, then it helps. Then they found that, okay, we can do it, but then the body gets weaker. Then they did another experiment where they did that, okay, if we can we can do the fasting for 36 hours every 15 days, it really helps. And then they found that a significant benefit, right? And of course, what we call as a Ekadashi, right? That they really found it, right, in this year, that if you do fasting for 36 hours, what is the 36 hours? Usually from Dasami, right? Like in the night, we do fasting, and the Ekadashi we do fast, and the Dwadashi day early in the morning, we break our fast. That's usually around 36 hours. Once we do it, and then the body recovers, right? And then this telomere remains, as it is, and you have a longer and healthy life. Right? That's one process. There is another group of scientists. This another Nobel Prize winning scientist called Christian Dubé. He kind of came with another interesting concept. He said there is something called autophagy. Right? What is this autophagy? Right? So this autophagy is nothing but let's say you are using a wall clock. Right? In a wall clock, you have a batteries. Right? And right, when the battery is getting discharged, it's not that you have to throw out the complete wall clock. What do you have to do? You have to take out the battery and you have to use another battery. Right? So similarly, in our cell also, this complex cell, there are some organisms like some entities, nucleolus or this RNA, DNA, and all that stuff. Somehow, if it gets degenerated, gets inactive, then this process of autophagy, it really cannibalizes them. It really kind of cleans them, right? That's where you get free from all the toxins, right? And what they call as a clean house essence. This is the this acts as a thobi in our complex cell. Right? Sometimes we really go through the complex structure of the cell. We understand how scientific it is, And who has created that? So much of, there's a powerhouse, there is a hitting house, there is a right, like how they pre-production house. There's so much of complexity is there, right? And how Lord has created everything so perfect there. So this autophagy, right? Like they understood that if it is not that cleaning process doesn't happen, then it leads to, like as you see, so many diseases, like cell death happens, cancer, and all the neurodegenerative diseases, dementia, and fatty liver, and so on. But then, how we can really trigger an effective this autophagy process. They also linked it, right, to this process of fasting and this process of autophagy. They said that same, like if you do this intermittent fasting, it really helps in cleaning our body and removing our toxins from the cells. Right? So this is the two, right, scientific reasons. And now there is one astronomical reason. What is that astronomical reason? Like our mind, we call as a man. This mind and this moon, they are also connected. That's why somebody is really mad, they call him lunatic. Like from lunar comes the lunatic. There is so much of link to it, and we'll see how. So once again, some physics, some geography now. So what is it? So as we have sun, right, and we have earth, right, and the moon, right, and the earth rotates around the sun and the moon rotates around the earth, right? And when the moon comes in between the sun and earth, when they are on the straight line, either we get the new moon or you get the full moon, like we get the it's completely dark, we get Amavasya or we get Purnima, or when like the moon is here on the right angle, we get the Ashtami Tithi, right? So that's how it really revolves around it. So what happens, as we can see here, so as we can see here, there is a gravitational force, like just like Earth as a gravitational force. Similarly, the sun also has some force, and the moon also has some force, the attractive force. With that, like that's why we see so much of high tides on Purnima day or on Amavasya day. You understand that? Why? Because of the force of the sun and moon. Right? And then we also got neap tides, they say, on the Ashtami Tithi. Right? Because that's also in line with sun, and also that is, we get closer to the sun, and also it becomes right angle with the moon. So that's why you get those neap tides on the Ashtami Tithi. So the essence of drawing this out is that yes, on Purnima day and Amavasya day, right, there is a high tide. And we also understand that in our body we have, this is 70 to 80% water is there. And similarly, the water content in our body also gets inflated, right, on this day. That's why you might have seen in most of the like families, if somebody is really diseased for a long time, right, and they see that, oh, this Purnima is coming or Amavasya is coming, especially from 11th day to Purnima day, usually they take a toll, right? If they are about to die, then they really die during that time, because the body becomes so severe, like a lot of the disease becomes aggravated during that point of time, right? So they really die, right, from 11th day to 15th day, because the disease gets aggravated. Because as I said, the water content really also gets pulled by this gravitational force of the sun and moon. And so not only it is there in this ocean we see in our body, but also some scientists, they did this experiment in the plants also. In the plants also they saw that how they did this experiment with one plant called this Arabidopsis thaliana, that how this root growth happens also with a 24-hour cycle, right? What is called one full orbit of the Earth, right? And then how the volume of the water molecule, even if it is a nano range, but there is an effect due to this gravitational force. And they also say that how there is a this lunar cycle is also having a strong correlation with the mood swings people have on every 14.8 days or around 15 days, right? This all the bipolar swings, all the mood swings we call, right? This happens in alignment to this gravitational force of the sun and moon, right? So I just try to quote, right, from the different Nobel laureates or from this big scientific articles, just to prove that how there is a close correlation, right, of this effect of this forces on our body, right? So it's not that okay, whatever we take, whenever we take, it's okay, so chalta hai, nahi chalta hai, right? That's how we really understand. Right? We consider it's okay, we can take any time food, we can sleep at any time. Of course, last time we discussed very much in detail, right? What are the qualities of ignorance, what are the quality of mode of passion, what are the quality of goodness. So these are also scientific, and that's why Lord has given us Bhagavad Gita and all the scriptures, so that we can live a regulated life, because it's a science, right? And we talked about this moon and month. And why, somebody might ask that why exactly then we fasted on Ekadashi and not on Purnima? Because they say that, right, as like Ekadashi means we fast from the grains and the pulses. And I don't know how many of you have farming at home, do agriculture at home? Nobody? Yes, I know all our software engineers here. Right? So the water intake for the grains, like the paddy, right, is much higher as compared to any other plants. Like you say millets, they consume very less water, right, while farming. But for the paddy and all the grains, they take so much of water. The water absorption of the grains is much higher. So once you take, right, these grains, the water intake, water capacity, absorption capacity, we intake more water, right? It absorbs more water. And to really get rid of these grains, it also takes couple of days. It's not that okay, we take whatever and it really goes out in an hour or in a day. It stays for some days. So that's it takes a couple of. That's why we really fast from the grains on 11th day, and we take also lighter meals. Of course 12, 13, 14. And so then 15th, all the grains are really gone, and the body becomes lighter. There is a kind of this scientific the reason behind it. Okay. So now coming back, some stories from our Puranas, right? Why you observe Ekadashi? We talked about scientific reason, we talked about astronomical reason, right? Of course, there are some Ayurvedic reasons also are there. That how, right? Like this Patanjali Sutra, they also says that how the fasting is really good for our body. So it really mentions that, especially who are the meat eaters, they have to fast for a month in a year. And we see that some of the traditions or the religions who are really completely to the meat eating, they fast for a month from morning to evening. And especially who are really living on the vegetarian diet, they are recommended to fast to clean our body, to get rid of all the toxins. So from the Puranas perspective, there is this story of which is really related to this Vaikuntha Ekadashi also. They say that this is the first Ekadashi, on this day this pastime had happened. There was a demon called Mura, it's called Murasura. This Murasura, he was notorious in terms of his evil activities. And he really fought against all the devatas. And then he was really conquering over them. And at the end, the qualities of Devata is that whenever they don't have any other shelter, they go to Lord Vishnu. They have to take shelter. And Lord Vishnu also really fought against this Murasura and really defeated him and really made him unconscious. And the Lord said, okay, he's unconscious, because usually one of the Kshatriya conduct, right, is that you don't kill if somebody is unconscious. And he wanted to go and take rest in Badrika Ashram. He went to the Badrika Ashram, he was really taking rest, and then this Murasura came to consciousness and he realized that, oh, Lord Vishnu was really trying to kill me, and he just, somehow found out that Lord has gone to this Badrika ashram, and he went and he saw that Lord is taking rest. And while taking rest, because he's Asura, and he wanted to kill the Lord, at that point of time, there was a divine, blessed lady appeared from the Lord, and she really killed this Murasura. And at that point of time, Lord woke up and told that, just a second. Just no, there's no problem here. Some problem here with this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Just one minute. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just a second. At the time Lord appeared, Lord woke up and asked this lady, who are you? And then this lady said, oh Lord, I am your Dasi, Ekadashi, I am your Dasi. And please, what exactly is my duty? Tell me now. And then the Lord said to her that yes, you have appeared to annihilate the demons, right? And yes, you please continue to do so. And whoever worships you on this day of Ekadashi, they will become very close to me. And that's why it is called also Madhava Tithi. This Ekadashi is called Madhava Tithi. This Tithi is very dear to the Lord. That's the boon Lord had given to this Ekadashi. He said that whoever worships you, whoever does any kind of a devotional service on that day, they will become very close to me. And then there is this one more pastime that is there in Padma Puran. And this is the story between Janmini Rishi and Vyasadeva. And in that pastime, it is mentioned that how Lord once went to Yamlok. And there he saw that how people are suffering so much because of whatever the sinful activities they have done. And Lord, being very compassionate, was thinking that how all these people will be delivered. And at that point of time, the compassionate feature of the Lord, once again, this Ekadashi appeared. And she said that, oh Lord, because you wanted to give your mercy to all the living entities, definitely they will be delivered. And at the same time, there was the representative of the Yamaraj, who was called Papa Purusa, who was in charge of punishing all the people. And he came forward to the Lord and said that, oh Lord, now with this blessing of this Ekadashi, by performing this Ekadashi, everybody will get delivered. How about me? You really should take care of everybody. And the Lord said, okay. Yes, I have given my words to Ekadashi that whoever performs any devotional service on this day, they will get delivered. But on the day of Ekadashi, it is mentioned that, okay, if somebody eats grains, right, you can recite there, and then these persons can really be your victim, right? They can really go to the this is another Puranic pastime. So there is a very nice prayer by Lord Brahma, very beautiful prayer. He says that Samasritaye padapallavaplavam Mahapadam punyayaso murari Bhavam buddhirvatsa padam param padam 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 yadvipadam natesam. Lord Brahma, how many of you know this Brahma Vimoha Leela in Krishna's pastime? You know, that how all the cowherd boys and the cows and calves, they were stolen by Brahma to test whether this cowherd boy is really going around, eating the butter of all the gopis' house, and he is taking the remnants of his friends. Is he really the Supreme Lord? Even sometimes Brahma gets confused about the identity of the Supreme Lord. And after that he wanted to test, and he took all the boys and cowherd boys and cows and calves. And then the Lord realized that okay, Brahmaji wanted to test, right? Okay, no doubt, no problem. And then as soon as he took, Lord created another set with the same boys, same cows, calves, with the same turban, same speak, with the same attitude, same speaking, attributes, right? When they went back, their mothers and fathers, they were not able to distinguish them. Even they were more original than the original ones. And in turn, they also developed so much love, like all the parents, they developed much more love, because always they, somehow or other, they had developed so much of love for Krishna. And now same Krishna is in their house. And of course, later on, Brahma realizes that okay, and he was really playing with the fire. And after that, he comes and offers his prayers unto the Lord. And then he prays this verse in glorification of Supreme Lord Krishna. He is saying that Samasritaye padapallava plavam. Samasrita. Whoever has taken shelter, at your lotus feet, O my Lord. Samasritaye padapallava plavam. Mahatpadam punyayaso murar. Mahatpadam. On your Mahatpada, on your Parampadam. Right? And you are known as Murari. We just talked about how he or his potency annihilated Muradima. You are known as Murari. Bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam. And whoever takes shelter of you, what happens? This Bhavasagar, which is so huge ocean, with so much of these crocodiles and whales who is about to devour at any point of time, this whole big ocean, it gets transformed to Vatsa Padam. Vatsa Padam means calf. The water that is contained in the calf's footprint. Right? So that you can cross over this huge ocean so lightly, without any effort. That is the benefit of taking shelter of the Lord Murari, of taking shelter of Lord. That's where you can really go back to Vaikuntha so easily. Right? We talk about on Vaikuntha Ekadashi, we visit the temples to go to Vaikuntha. Lord Brahma is giving this formula how to go to Vaikuntha. Samasritaye padapallam, by taking shelter of the Lord. Otherwise, in this material world, Brahma is saying padam yat vipadam na tesam. The quality of material world is what? Padam vipadam na tesam. Every step there is danger. Isn't it? We have seen that, right? You must be like, I heard that somewhere in Hof Farm, a group of people, they were standing, and suddenly the sumo came some time back, and it really, there was an accident. Or you really go in some train, some couple of months back, thousands of people died. Right? And why it happens, how it happens. Every moment there is some danger. Right? And how to get rid of the intelligent people, they really think that how can I really get out of this world, the place where there is a danger. That's why we call this place, it's not a hotel, but a jail. Right? How can you really get out of this jail as quickly as possible and go to Vaikuntha? So yes, And our acharyas have given this this formula, how we can really take shelter of the Lord and we can go back to Vaikuntha. So we talked about that different reasons why we perform Ekadashi. And then our acharyas also mentioned there is a devotional meaning, there is a devotional purpose also. That once we do some, bring some discipline in our life, following this Ekadashi, our devotion increases. Through this discipline of performing Ekadashi, our devotion increases. So, like last time we were discussing a lot about these different modes, and then we talked about we have to come to Suddha Sattva. Everybody remembers what are the different modes we talked about? First is Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic, and then Suddha Sattva. And we said that the mode of goodness is not good enough. And we gave the example that, what is the example we gave? That okay, somebody is in the jail, somebody having iron lockup or silver lockup or gold lockup. What exactly? You don't want anything. You want to come out of that jail. Right? Similarly, it's not that okay, I want to have a happy life in this world and I want to be, just enjoy my life. It's not possible. As soon as you come, you have to suffer. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. All the Mother Durga will give us these three classes. We will have to go through these problems. But then we have to come to the transcendental mode of goodness and we have to do the devotional service. And this devotional service we said A, B, C, D, E. What is A? Association of the devotees. B? Books. C? Chanting. D? Diet and also deity worship. Right? And E also is the environment, how we can create our environment. And this is just, of course, not just simple ABCD. Even acharyas are also saying that Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavata Shravan Mathura Seva Sri Murtira Srathaya Sevan. These are the 5 angas of devotional service. Panchanga Bhakti it is called. What is it, Panchanga Bhakti? First is Sadhu Sangha. We come in the association of the devotees. Right? And then we learn from them. We see them, we see their lifestyle. Right? And then we read Bhagavad Shravan, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Bhagavatam. And then we chant the holy names of the Lord, Nama Kirtan. Like Kali Kali Nama Rupe. Right? Krishna Avatar. In this age of Kali, Lord has appeared in the form of holy names. Once you chant the holy name, the Lord are not different. These are the different potent angas of bhakti. And then 4th is really, right, doing the deity worship, offering our heartfelt love to the Lord through whatever we have. And then, of course, diet, whatever we take, first we offer it to the Lord. And then we create an environment of like Vrindavan in our heart, in our house. So that's how our acharyas have said. But to do that, ABCDE, it's very difficult for us. It's very difficult to chant, to read books, to do the deity worship. It's not easy. Though it's very simple, but it's not easy. But then, once you come with the association of the devotees, right, and then we get the inspiration to do it, then it becomes easier. So, just like even for the kids also, right? To sit quietly, it is very difficult. It's very difficult, it's very challenging. But then if you engage them positively, right? What do? We cannot say no to them. If you say no, don't do it, they will do it again. But then, if you engage them positively, what they really like, right? Maybe some kids, they really like to draw something, they want to play, they want to cook like mother, or some kids, they want to, play something interesting or exciting. You give something positive, right? And they will forget that. Like we always say, if kid is really playing with some fire or knife, you cannot ask them, no, just leave that. As many times you say no, they will also that many number of exponential times no. Right? So what you have to give is a positive engagement has to be required. Right? So similarly, ourselves also, we are getting tempted with so many choices in this world. There is, whatever you do, there will be always some MCQ. And there will be more number of wrong answer than the right answer. And most of the times we commit wrong answers. And then we later realize, oh, I did this mistake. But then, once we have sufficiently come into this study circle, once we go into this right coaching institute, then we know that this kind of a problem will come and you study so thoroughly, so strictly, so diligently over a period of time, and then you kind of take an informed right decision. So what is really required? Some intense study, right? Or intense seva, right? So in our bhakti also, right? What Lord is saying that Tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. We have to also do bhakti with intensity, right? Not that like somebody wants to cook chapati, can I really put the stove here and tawa here and can I cook? It's not possible, right? Or I just put the stove here and there's a tawa here, but with a very low flame. Is it possible to cook? Not possible, right? Once you have to cook something, you have to put that fire also strongly, right? Or let's say another analogy we can say, like if somebody is really having some disease, thoda bahut, some khasi jukham, then okay, you can take some paracetamol or something like that, you'll get cured. But if somebody is really suffering so severely, you need also that intense medicinal kind of thing. You need IV, you need surgery, you need this and that to really get cured. Similarly, all of our diseases, what are the diseases we have? Or we are free, we are healthy? We are not talking about bodily diseases, we are talking about our heart diseases, our mind diseases. These anarthas that we have, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, that is so deep within, it's not going, we try to not be angry, we try not to be lusty, we try not to be greedy, but still we are forced to be doing that. Right? But then, we have to give the strong medicine. And that medicine is this love of Krishna, this devotional service to Lord. And that really helps us in improving. Just like in a glass of water, there are, maybe you have impure water. Without pouring it out, how you can make it clean? You add sufficient clean water. We add like buckets of clean water. Then what will do? This dirty water from this glass will automatically go away. Right? Similarly, because if somebody says that give up this anger, give up this, pour out your dirty things from your heart. No, we are so much attached. No, I want to have it away. But if you want to have it, then we need something else more stronger so that these dirty things will go out. Are we aligned so far with this analogy? Are you able to follow? That yes, we need some strong doses. Like we need buckets of that clean, serene water. Right? We need to really bath ourselves with this process of devotional service, so that this all the gandagi in our heart and mind really goes away. And this is the day of Ekadashi. The day of Ekadashi is to really absorb ourselves on the different angas of bhakti, so that all our anarthas get cleaned up. So that whatever we discuss, the soka, moho, bhaya, they really goes away. That's what all our acharyas have taught us. How we can be absorbed more and more and more on this day, on this auspicious day called Madhava Tithi or Ekadashi. So that how we can minimize on this day all as much as possible our material activities, and how we can be absorbed more and more in the devotional activities. Any questions so far? Any questions or comments from anybody? Are we convinced? Not yet convinced? Why we should perform Ekadashi? Okay, any questions from anybody? Yes, sir.
Just maybe related to Ekadashi, maybe I'm not having very clean knowledge on that, so I want to, if you can enlighten on that. Ekadashi is a specialty definitely with respect to our bhakti. We will have more intense, like whatever we do, it will multiply more on that. But point is like, why that Ekadashi only has been chosen in the whole month, like 2 Ekadashi? Why that Ekadashi only? Why not maybe I can say 14th day, 13th day or 12th day?
Yeah. So
Maybe
yeah, we just
contact with everyone. So
yeah. No, we just talked about it. Like once again, right? Like we talked about the, first of all, the scientific reason, right? Some of you heard it.
It is only for me, I can take
Yes, we just talked about it, that like scientifically why, like we have to fast for like once in 15 days, right? And then we talked about this astronomical perspective, why Ekadashi is important, because on the 15th day you get the aggravated side effects, and to get clean up, right, it takes some days. So that's even the astronomically also they say that you have to fast on Ekadashi, right? And then, right, we talked about from these two pastime, one from this Garga Samhita, another from this Padma Purana, that how on this day, right, how that Mura demon was killed, and how on this day, Lord gave this benediction to this Ekadashi, right, about this Papa Purusha. So those events happened, and this Mother Ekadashi, this Bhakti Janani, they appeared on that auspicious day, Ekadashi. Like when I say, why you celebrate Krishna Janmashtami, Lord appeared on that day. So the Mother Ekadashi appeared on the day of Ekadashi. Okay, so, and for all of us, right, our acharyas, like all of us know that why this, this planet is called Bharatvarsha. Why it is called Bharatvarsha?
After Bharat Maharaj.
After Bharat Maharaj. Who is Bharat Maharaj? Who is Bharat Maharaj? Shakuntala. Yes. What else? Of course, there is no one more Bharat is brother of Rama. There is one more Bharat. It's called. There is a King Risa or Lord Risa, right, who is also an incarnation of the Lord, and he had 100 sons, and his elder son was Bharat Maharaj. Okay, so there are different Bharat. Of course, our place is called Bharat Maharaj because of this Guru Bharat Maharaj. But here, to this Bharat Maharaj, and the Lord Rishabdev is given a very nice instruction that what should a human being should do. What a human being should do. He's saying that Nayam deho deho bhajam ruloke kastan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam suddhet yasma brahma sokyam tvanantam. So Lord Rishabdev is telling to Bharat Maharaj that, oh my dear sons, do you know that, this is a little heavy verse, though it sounds very melodious, but the instruction is very heavy, okay? Before I share the meaning, I'll tell you this. What it is saying, this verse, oh my dear sons, do you know that the animals also, they also eat, sleep, mate and defend, right? And this, if you just do these things, you are also just like a stool-eating animal. Right? And let's say, like this bid-bhujam like the pigs. Right? And you are also not different than a pig. That's why it's a very heavy verse. Right? And what a human being should do, he's saying in the third line, Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. You should do tapasya. You should do some voluntary austerity. You should do some activities for the pleasure of the Lord. This life is not meant for enjoyment. This life is meant for tapasya. Tapo divyam. And this is divya tapasya. It's not yes, in the material world also people do tapasya. Going to office 2 hours in the traffic. We are not talking about this tapasya here. Right? The tapasya for the pleasure of the Lord. Tapo divyam, that's why divyam is really added there. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. And once we do the tapasya, what will happen? Suddhyet yasma. Our heart will get clarified. It will get suddha. It will really get purified. And then you will find real sukha. That is Brahma sukha. People are searching for happiness. This is the solution for the happiness. You do tapo divyam, then your heart will get purified, you become suddha, and then you get Brahma sukha. Is it clear? Otherwise, you are not different than bid bhujam. You are not different. Then, like, we'll just read the translation. Lord Rishabdev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that its too. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified and one attains this position. He attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendent to material happiness and which continues forever. Hare Krishna. Isn't it a beautiful verse? It really gives so much purpose to our life that yes, this life is not for only enjoyment. So whatever we take in our day-to-day life, there are two kinds of foods are there. One is called life-sustaining foods, like we take dal, chawal and so on. And there is a sense-gratifying eatables. Sense-gratifying eatables means we understand, like which really titillates our buds, taste buds. Oh, it tastes good, it feels good, all that, right? Like whatever people outside, all the junk food or what last time discussed about the tamasic food and rajasic food and all that, right? So, that one. So, like how we should try as much as possible that we should stay away from the sense enjoyment foods and really focus more on the life-sustaining food, which will really, last time we discussed, it will really improve our IU, it will improve, help keeping our body healthy, it will keep our brain healthy so that we can think in the mode of goodness. That is the food we should take. And that is the lifestyle we should live. And last time also, right, we gave some parameters to all of you. We sent it in the WhatsApp group also, some of you might have seen. How we should regulate our diet, how should we regulate our sleep, how we should regulate our environment, and then how we should. How many of you have seen that? How many of you read it? Last time we sent it? No? If you have not sent it, if you have not read it, please go through those. Right? This will really help us. This is the tapasya, to wake up in the morning, to eat at certain point of time and sattvic food, and to sleep at right point of time. Wake up early in the morning. This is the tapasya. Right? Yes, we do tapasya, right? That is really required, to take care of our family and so on and so on. But then, we have to take care of the tapasya to purify our heart and to feed our soul as well. Okay. And then there is why this tapasya is important, right? Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita also, these are the three things that everybody should do. What is that? Yajna, Dana, Tapa. Nobody should be free from these three activities. Everybody should do yajna. And in this age of Kali, what is the yajna that is Lord has given? Sankirtana yajna, Nama Sankirtana yajna. And Dana, yes, you should do something, right, for the benefit of the society. Right? And last time also we discussed, it's not that we give a party, right? Beer party or this or that, right? And or we should do some dana just to do, right? For our glorification, to showcase ourselves, to keep ourselves center. Right? But we should do dana, like we should do shastra dana. Like this month we said that we should distribute Bhagavad Gita, we should give, this prasad. We should share our time and energy with everybody so that everybody gets benefited. And then tapasya, right? This tapasya, like we take Janmashtami or Ekadashi, right? Or coming every Sunday itself is a tapasya. For a couple of hours and hearing the association of the devotee, that's also tapasya. We do some tapasya. We said last time also that we should spend a couple of hours in a day or maybe in a week or maybe a couple of days in a month or maybe a couple of weeks in a year. We should spend, for ourselves, for our soul. And yes, we spend whole life, for our work, for our boss, for our family. But what about us? What about who? As a spirit soul, how much time we are spending for that, for uplifting that one. Okay. And then this is also nice instruction given by our Rupa Goswami. He is saying that how we should control all our senses, right? Because most of the times, we are conditioned in such a way that, whatever, feels good, we just take it, we hear it, we, do it, right? But then how we can really live a self-controlled life, self-regulated life, right? And what are the things we should control? We should control our speech, we should control our mind, we should control our anger, we should control our jiva. I should eat only nice food platelets, udara, I want to eat more and more, the upastha is our genitals, right? I want to have union and all that, right? So, whoever really controls this, he is really a Swami. He is really that's why called Goswami, right? He is really a true Guru who has really controlled all these properties. And we should really, and the Lord is saying that, how we should really follow, these acharyas who really control these things. And at least, we are not able to control them right away, but at least let's do it once in a fortnight, and then, we can grow on increasing more and more. So this is the day of Ekadashi where we consciously try to control all these urges. It's called Begam. This Begam we should try to control more and more. Right? And this is also nice instruction given by our acharyas. Sarva papa prasamanam punyam atyantikam tatha Govinda smaranam drunam ekadasyam upasanam. So, what is the benefit we get by fasting on Ekadashi? A person destroys all sins. Sarva papa prasamanam. And punyam atyantikam tatha. We really get so much of piety. And then, third thing is the most important for all of us. Right? What is that? Govinda smaranam drunam. We get more and more taste to hear Krishna Katha. We get more and more taste to chant the holy names of the Lord. So once we do this Ekadashi, we'll develop bhakti for Lord Govinda, for Lord Rangana, for Lord Balaji, for Lord Jagannath. And here Lord is saying, Govinda. So yes, not only once we come and do a Balaji only we should chant, but once we do this Ekadashi, we'll be able to remember more and more Govinda. Govinda Smaranam Drunam. Right, some of you might be knowing, especially this Vaikuntha Ekadashi, of course it's celebrated for 20 days in Sriranga, and also similar celebration happens in Tirupati, right? And also it happens, especially in Bangalore, it is celebrated on one day only, and the Lord is decorated with muthangi, with the pearl, amulets, pearl kavachas, and beautifully celebrated. Why it is done, right? So that, we get attracted to the Lord, we develop love for the Lord. And at least one day, he's coming so that, it's not that, we always say this, right? All the big e-tailers, they give some promotions. Is it that, they give promotions so that we buy only once for them? No. So that we get attracted to them. And then we can buy more and more. So it's not that only on the day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi we go to Balaji temple. No. Right? This is kind of, the Lord is kind of giving that mercy and that compassion, giving that special feature that so that he can be more and more attractive and at least remember every day so that he can have this Govinda Smarana Druna. We should do always Govinda Smarana. Right? Okay. So, one of our Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is saying that Madhavati thi bhakati janani jatane palana kori Krishna basati boli paramadare gori. Now all the devotees who are on this path of spirituality, on the path of Krishna consciousness, they should celebrate these important days like Ekadashi, Janmashtami and so on, because they give bhakti, they are bhakati janani. They really help us in developing bhakti within our heart. And Srila Prabhupada himself has taught us that he's saying that to observe Ekadashi Vrata and Dvadashi Vrata means to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those interested in advancing in Krishna consciousness must observe Ekadashi Vrata regularly. Okay, so we'll just go faster. There are so many pastimes are there. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Mahiyanya, right? Even he had observed it, especially in the east part of India, like Odisha, Bengal and some of the places. They say that, this Ekadashi should be performed only by Vidhavas, only by the widowed lady. It's not true. That's the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had performed this pastime to tell his mother that, oh mother, yes, you should also observe Ekadashi. To tell his mother, right, he had, performed one pastime. And when Mahaprabhu was in Puri, at that point of time also all the devotees, of course we heard the first slide itself, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established his base in Puri because the prasadam is unlimitedly available. Right? Nobody plans there in Puri how much devotees will come on this day. Right? And accordingly they will feed it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because once you talk about programs, the most important thing is the prasada. Right? Everybody is really looking forward to it. Right? So there in Puri also, Prabhupada is saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established that as base, that they can get association of the Lord and they do singing, dancing, and do they have feasting in Anand Bazaar in Puri. But in that place also, right, whenever some devotees like Gopinath Acharya and some of the devotees, they used to bring prasadam on the day of Ekadashi to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He used to offer his obeisances, he used to offer respects to the prasad, right? And but at the same time, he used to say, okay, we'll honor it the next day. So he would not take it on the day of Ekadashi, any grain prasadam. So yes, this is the day where we take the completely nourish ourselves, body, mind and soul, right, from the different perspective. That's what we say. In the different occasions we hear this beautiful verse. Kayena vacha manasendriya buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhava karoti yam yam sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayami. That how, all our things, right? Even Ganesh Chaturthi also we sing this, on various occasions we sing this, that okay, Narayana is everything. And we offer everything to the Kaya, Mana, Vacha, everything to the Supreme Lord. Right? So now we are sufficiently convinced that we should observe Ekadashi. Now how to observe Ekadashi? How we should observe Ekadashi? As we said, there is a Vaishnava app, right? Maybe we will send it a link to you. You can install in your mobiles. And also, of course, our devotees also sending these reminders as well. That okay, this is the day of Ekadashi, and there is also Paran time. Next day, we used to really break our fast at certain specific period of time, right? That also we should do it. Like during that time, we should break our fast. Okay, and what we should avoid? We should avoid all the grains and pulses, beans, right, or even the mustard seeds and the sesame seeds. Right, or the derivative of all these foods. And also sometimes while cooking we mix certain stuff at kitchen, so we should ensure that they are not really mixed. And then what kind of fasting we should do? There are different types of fasting. One is called nirjala, like nirjala, like we don't even take water. And there's a phalahara, we take only fruits, right? Or the anukalpa. Right? We take some items like sabudana, barai, samarais, and singhada, and so on. Right? To start with, like we say that we don't recommend nirjala, even from Ayurvedic perspective also. We should sip some warm water so that it helps in cleaning our body. Right? Definitely, like to start, it's not recommended to start with. Right? What we should do? Like if possible, yes, we should take fruits or fruit juices and so on. But then, right, this is really possible for all of us, like we say working professionals or mother or whatever it is. We can take, maybe we can send you also, sometimes the people get bewildered, oh, what we really cook on this Ekadashi? Now you can really have a feast on Ekadashi. they prepare different types of puri and dosas and some vadas and things like that. But the purpose of once again of Ekadashi is not to feast all these things, right? But specifically for the kids, like we say that this Ekadashi should be observed between 8 to 80 years, right? For less than 8 years, they are exempted. Higher than 80 years, they are also exempted. But yeah, of course, if somebody have health reasons, definitely they should consult doctor and senior devotees, right, to do that. But otherwise, as far as possible, right, we should stay away from the grains on the day of Ekadashi, and we can take help of all these different substitute items, for our nourishment. Any questions on this? Okay, yeah, we are just talking about, there are so many, recipes we can really find out from Hare Krishna TV and ISKCON Desire. Lot of devotees, they have done a lot of research, and you can really find out, what we can really cook on the day of Ekadashi. Okay, yes, just to summarize once again, the purpose of Ekadashi, the purpose of our bhakti is to really develop Lord and to develop love for the Supreme Lord. So that we should develop some activities which is anukulyena krishnanusila. This bhakti is all about, we say it's silanam. This is bhakti, this is an action, right? So this is not only about our intellectual conviction that bhakti is the highest, we should perform bhakti, we should develop love for the Lord. And at the same time, there has to be emotional connection. We should really feel that love for the Lord, that sort of power grahisana. Unless we develop love for the Lord, our intellectual conviction is, just goes for a toss, right? And not only we should have intellectual conviction, we have emotional connection for the Lord and His devotees, but also it should translate into practical action, with our hands, with our body, mind and senses. How we should really engage everything, in the service of the Lord, and that is called Uttama Bhakti. And on this day of Ekadashi, yes, we should engage more and more in hearing and chanting. That's why some of our devotees, they chant 128 rounds, some 192 rounds, some 64 rounds. Right? At least, we chant whatever rounds we are chanting, we can chant a little bit more. And not only the number of quantities we can increase, but the quality also. How we can stay away from the distraction. As we said, we need to absorb. We gave that example of chapati, you remember? Right? So we have to bring that intensity of our bhakti on this day. Stay away from the distraction as much as possible. We wake up early in the morning and we minimize all our other material activities. Of course, if you have work, definitely we continue our work, or if we have, as a mother, we have to take care of our children, so not that we are shying away from the responsibility. At the same time, the prajalpa, the unnecessary gossips, the unnecessary activities, how we can minimize as much as possible. So this is we call our earth is called Prithvi, right? There is this Prithu Maharaj. This is a beautiful prayer. He's praying that. What he's saying? We had also recited this verse earlier as well, but we wanted to repeat this verse. Very beautiful verse. He's saying that, that I want millions of cups to drink. I want to be a drunkard. A devotee wants to be a drunkard. How it is? He's saying that I want to be a drunkard. I want to drink. What I want to drink? I want to drink the nectar that is coming out from the heart of the devotees in the form of Krishna Katha. So I want to hear more and more Krishna Katha. Oh Lord, why you have given 2 years? Please give me millions of years so that I can hear more and more Krishna Katha. And for all of us, we should be happy with the 2 years so that at least we can use these 2 years properly and not use these 2 years to hear all the other gossips of the universe. Right? Whatever is happening in some part. Right? So he's saying that to Lord, when he appeared in front of him, this Prithu Maharaj, he's saying that Nakamaena tatadavyaham kvachin nayatra yusma charanam bujasava mahatamantar hudayan mukhochito vidhatsa karnayutam esamevara. Vidhatsva, give me this benediction. What? Karna ayutam, give me millions of years. For what? Because I want to drink the Charanam Bhuja Asava. I want to drink the leverage that is coming from your lotus feet. And where is that available? It is available in Mahattama Antar Hudayan Bhajito. It is available in the Mahat devotees, in the pure devotees of your Lord, who are really speaking Krishna Katha. From them, right, your beverage, this beverage of, this intoxicated beverage that is really coming out from Mukhachyuta, from their lotus mouth. And I don't want anything else. Nakamaeka. Tadapi yaham kvachin. I don't need anything else from my Lord. I do not wish to have anything else. Right? And yes, there are so many verses are there which really glorify this. Rupa Goswami, he is saying that Aghadamana yasoda nandana suno kamala nayana gopi chandra vrindavanendra pranata karuna krishno iti aneka sarupe tvai mamarati ruche bardhatam namadheya. So on this day of Ekadashi especially, we should bardhatam, we should increase our rati, uccha rati, we should develop our strong desire, strong attachment, for nama, for all these beautiful names of the Lord. What are the beautiful names? Aghadamana. Who is Aghadamana? What is Agha? Agha means? Sin. Who is that? Aghasura. Yes, Aghadamana. And Yasodanandana. Nanda Suno, the son of Nanda. Kamala Nayana, who is having lotus petal eyes. Gopi Chandra, who is the beloved of all the gopis. Vrindavanendra is the, Indra is the, He's the king of the Vrindavan, Pranata Karuna, who really gives, merciful to all the surrendered souls. You have so many names. Let me have my more and more attachment to all these names of yours. Because the names are more merciful even than the Lord himself. Right? We cannot worship the Lord, right, in any place. We have to go to the temple, we have to offer so many arghya and all that. But the Naam, can be available anywhere. Naam can really give the mercy to any place, to anyone. How this Naam is so merciful. Okay, so this is the final one. So what do we learn from today? We learn today, grains equal to bad. What is that? Grains are bad on the day of Ekadashi. Is it clear? Second, fasting is good. We talked about a lot of scientific reason, astronomical reason and all that. Is it clear? Fasting is good for our health, even for body, mind and soul. But most importantly, which is very good, not only fasting, but also the more important thing is we have to hear and absorb ourselves on hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna. We call Govinda Smarana. We talked about how Prithu Maharaj wanted to hear more and more. How Rupa Goswami, he wanted to chant more and more. Bhartatam Nama Theya. Right? This is what we should do really on the day of Ekadashi. Right? Somebody, some says that, some of our earlier sessions, oh Prabhuji, on the day of Ekadashi, I get really lot of headache, and I just sleep, or I take a lot of tea. First of all, tea definitely is not allowed, right? Because this is another form of intoxication. This is all the caffeines. And even, some says like, oh, okay, I'm really, not able to tolerate, I really sleep. Then we tell them that, okay, you take all these different anukalpa prasadams, like with barai, with sabudana and with all that item. But important thing is hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna. Right? Bhakti Jala Saraswati Thakur also used to say that. Right? Especially on the day of Ekadashi or on the day of Janmashtami. We tell our devotees, some of the devotees who are not able to tolerate this Nirjala fasting, we say, better you take some prasad, right? Maybe Anukalpa prasad, but important is to serve the Lord as devotees. Because that's where our heart will get purified. Not to just, bodily fasting, but there has to be soul feasting. So that is really important for all of us. How? The soul has to be nourished. So this is the day that we really dedicate for ourselves. For our soul. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments before we wrap up? Anybody?
Tell about how to break properly the fasting.
Okay, that's a good question. So here we talked about the 3 levels of fasting. If somebody is really doing Nirjala, the next day we can really break the fast with water. If somebody is doing Falahara, they can break the fast with any of these Anukalpa items. Or as most of us, we do Anukalpa Prasada fasting. We do break the fast with grains. Like some of the devotees, they take the Nirmalya from Jagannath Puri, or they take some prasadam from some places, they really break the fast. Or otherwise also, you offer it to the Lord, and then you take it as a prasadam on the day of this Paran time. Right? We talked about this Paran time, right? That will be sent by the devotees, right? So the day of next day of Ekadashi, on the specific time, we break the fast.
Falahar we can break by grains.
Sorry,
Falahar, if you are doing Falahar, we can break by grains.
Yes, of course. Right? Okay. If you're doing Falahar or we do with juice or with whatever we do, we can take grains on the next day during that Parayan time and we can break the fast. Okay. And once again, it should not happen that, oh, Ekadashi, I really fasted and I'm really looking forward to Dwadashi so that I can have a feasting. No, right? That's not our mood, right? Because some of the people, they do, okay, morning to evening they fast and in the night they really go to the food court and really enjoy. That's not the purpose, right? As we discussed that, our purpose is to really purify all our toxins, not only of the body, but mind and soul also. Not to indulge, right, in the sense gratification. Right? Yes, we should minimize. There is another verse also, 18th chapter, I think 52 or something like that. How it also done, how we should reduce, how we should be really lean to do tapasya. Okay. Any other questions or comments from anyone? All of us are convinced that we should do. So so that we really look forward and remember this 23rd of December, the coming Ekadashi, Vaikuntha Ekadashi. All of us are ready to perform Ekadashi?
Yes.
Very well. Still some are doubtful. Right? As I said, it's not only spiritually, but also to keep our body also healthy. It is required. To keep our body free from all the diseases, it is really important. People do this keto diet, keto diet and all that, right? So better than that, you see that some people do all that and they really suffer. They some big actress, she was kind of doing some this diet and that diet and he suffered and he heart attack and he left her body. Right? So better than all that is to do this Ekadashi fasting. Even for the body also it is important to keep our body lean and fit. Right? But then we said as a devotee, we don't do fasting only to keep our body fit. We keep do this fasting for the feasting of our soul, to nourish our body. It is hearing, chanting and remembering the Lord. Okay? Any questions before we proceed?
Why we have to take only on the Parna time?
Yeah, so there are also very scientific reasons are there, and our acharyas have given based on the the nakshatra and all that positions, right? So we just really follow during that time only, right? And also in our acharyas, like sometimes we observe that some people they celebrate Ekadashi on one day and we celebrate sometimes on the other day, because in our Vaishnava Shastras it is mentioned that we observe Ekadashi when the Ekadashi Muhurta is there during sunrise. Because sometimes what happens, this Ekadashi Muhurta, it comes maybe during after 8 a.m. or during the daytime and things like that. So we don't observe, we don't see that as a pure Ekadashi. Right? So sometimes that's why sometimes what happens, that we celebrate Ekadashi on the next day. Because that's the day, that's the Ekadashi Muhurta is happening during the sunrise.
So will it be a sin if you don't take the Parna on the time frame?
Yeah, so of course there is a very beautiful pastime of Ambrish Maharaj. How many of you heard that Ambrish Maharaj pastime? Very few of you. That how Ambrish Maharaj, he was really performing this Ekadashi Vrata, and then on this Dwadashi day, right, this Durvasa Muni, right, he came and he said that, okay, I want to honor prasadam at your house. And as a grihastha, it is our responsibility to really honor the guests, Atithi Deva Bhava. And he was waiting. At the same time, this Paran time was really going out because the Durvasa Muni had gone to take care of his chores, right? And at that point in time, that Ambrish Maharaj consulted, right? Like, what should I do? If I eat before Durvasa Muni comes, right, it will be Vaishnava Aparadh. I will be making offense to my Atithi. But if I don't do it, I will commit an offense to this Ekadashi. Right? What we should do? And all the assembled members there in that court, they said that okay, this water, drinking of water is considered both fasting and non-fasting. So you can take a sip of water. But then, as soon as Durvasa Muni came, and he got enraged, how come that you drink water, before I honored something? And he became raised, and Durvasa Muni is known for his angry, right? And then he kind of became angry, and then he kind of wanted to devastate, right? This Ambrish Maharaj, right? A big demon came and he started, attacking Ambrish Maharaj. But then Lord understood that how Ambrish Maharaj, he is pure, he is completely pure. And then Lord sent his Sudarshan Chakra, and Sudarshan Chakra, came to protect Ambrish Maharaj. Not only protecting, but also he started. Sudarshan Chakra started chasing that demon, and also he killed the demon, and then he started chasing Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni went everywhere trying to find shelter, because who can protect, from Sudarshan Chakra, who is really the potency of Lord Vishnu. He was going everywhere to Lord Brahma, to Lord Shiva, and finally to Lord Vishnu also. Please give me your shelter, from the Sudarshan. And do you know what Lord says? He's saying that very beautifully. He's saying that Nahi asam tatra iva dvija. Oh Durvasa Muni, don't think that I am independent. I am also dependent on the will of my devotees. Right? Sadhunam hridayam mayam, sadhava hridayam mayam, madbhaktane tat tena janati naham tebhyam anagapi. Like, oh, Durvasa Muni, right? I am surrendered to my devotee's will. Right? I cannot also do anything independently. If you want to real forgiveness, then don't ask for forgiveness from me. You should go to my devotee, who is Amrish Maharaj. Right? And then finally Durvasa Muni, once he went there and he realized that how great Amrish Maharaj is, that he was, till that point of time, as he was really going around all over the universe, Amrish Maharaj had not taken anything. And as a respect, and he was feeling so morose that, oh, how Durvasa Muni is suffering so much. He was really praying for him. And as soon as Durvasa Muni came, he offered his obeisances, that, oh, for me, you have to go through so much of suffering. But Durvasa Muni realized the quality of a devotee. We just heard, I think, a couple of weeks back, right? That what is the quality of a sadhu, right? That how is a tolerant, how is merciful, how he doesn't have any enemies. And that Durvasa Muni realized. And then he offered his obeisances to Amrish Maharaj. That yes, you are the best, now you have to forgive me. And as soon as he offered his obeisances to Amrish Maharaj, he was free from the Sudarshan Chakra. Right? So what do you understand is that the essence of everything is to the love of Lord. So whatever, yena tena prakarna was, somehow or other, if some mistake happens, definitely Lord will take care. But as much as possible, we can follow the principles of this Parayan time. But if somehow we are not able to do it, Lord will definitely take care. As Lord protected Amrisa, right? Lord also will protect us, because Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. Of course, there is a very beautiful pastime, sometimes we'll discuss in detail. But the essence is that, that how a king, a grihastha, can even defeat even a sannyas, a saintly muni like Durvasa. Right? That is the quality of devotion. And that's why Lord even says that I am even subordinate to my devotees. Lord, Brahma and Shiva, even Lord Vishnu, he could not forgive. They could not forgive Durvasa Muni. And they had sent him back. So that's why another lesson that we learn is that we don't commit any offense to any of the devotees. Because Lord is saying that if you commit any offense, right, if you chant the holy name, you serve more Lord, then you will be forgiven. But if you offend the devotees might forgive you. Like in this case, Amrish Maharaj is forgiven. But the Lord's, his potency, Lord will not forgive you. The Sudarshan Maharaj, the Chakra Talwar, he didn't forgive you. Right? So that's why we should be very careful and really offending the devotees. So that's why we should be very respectful to the devotees, because they are very close to the Lord. Because Lord is saying, I am always in the heart of my devotees.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay? So now we talked about how we should really absorb ourselves in the chanting. So now for us also it is very important. Let's observe ourselves in chanting of the holy names of the Lord by taking center of the chanting. So, because everything, whatever we know, whatever we hear, the essence is really chanting of the holy name. So, we should develop, we should spend some time early in the morning and not thinking anything else. Everything else will go on. It's the Lord's plan. Just like we don't endeavor for the misery, we don't endeavor for the difficulties in the life, but they come, isn't it? Even if you don't try, the difficulty, the challenges, the misery come. Similarly, right? Whatever God has planned with our sincere effort, it's not that we are shying away from sincere responsibility. We put our effort, then we leave it to the Lord. Don't think too much, right? That I am the controller, I am the planner, I am the engineer, I have to do everything. No, right? Do your part. And then, leave it to the Lord, leave it to the holy name of the Lord, and they will do that magic. So let's take center of this Panchatattva. And yes, the mood is that how we should chant the holy names, just like a baby, one baby is hungry, cries for the mother's shelter. And I should be in that mood, that our tongue should pronounce the names very clearly. We should hear, very attentively. And we should cry from our heart, in a very sincere way. That all these three things should be engaged. Our tongue, our ear, and our heart. And together. And of course, our fingers. We just keep counting that. But focus is not here. Because most of the times we see, okay, are you completing the rounds or not? Because yes, let it take 7 minutes, 8 minutes, this one round takes. But focus is really, how can I really absorb? Think only on the names of the Lord. We don't have to think anything else. You have to just hear the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Just remember, just hear the holy names of the Lord. Nothing else. That's why Prabhupada says, just hear. Don't do anything. You don't have to imagine anything else while chanting the holy names. And to just hear. Right? And this is the practice. We do it while we come on this day, once in a week. But we should do that every day. And on the day of Ekadashi and so on, we should do it more. In quantity and in quality. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasri Sri Hare Krishna Mahamantra Yajna ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much. So yes, as we said, next week we will have a Gita Jayanti program where we will be reciting the complete Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses from 18th chapter. So we'll start at 10 o'clock. Yes, so really looking forward to all of your enthusiastic participation next week. Thank you very much.